GiGi, hey, congratulations for Peacock's Baking It. Such a
Thank-
fun series.
Oh, thank you. It was so exciting.
Thank you. We had such a ball, didn't we, GiGi? We had so much fun.
Yes,
it really
we did.
was.
We
It was
surely
really
did.
fun. Hi, GiGi. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. We've talked several times. but I
Yeah, we
hadn't
talk
seen-
and we
your hair
you know, we text
Your
and
hair
stuff.
looks good.
But it's so I haven't seen her face in so long.
I know. Who did your hair?
That you two must have developed a nice friendship and quite an experience from that show then.
I think all of us, don't you, GiGi? First, I knew Ann from before, and I had met Harriet, and Ann and I have been friends a long time. But the amazing thing is like, we all meshed. We were all like equally crazy, and all like equal. I mean, when I tell you, we were playing charades till 2 o'clock in the morning and laughing like we were at a pajama party in high school. I'm not kidding. We had the best time.
We had the best time bonding, and I only knew Norma and Ann from the actual show Clash of the Grandmas. I'd seen them, but meeting them, it was like I've been knowing them all my freaking life. We had so much fun laughing and crying. Oh boy, and eating our way through Burbank.
I swear to you, I'm still full. I'm not kidding. I'm still full.
So how did you two get that call to be on part of the show? I mean, it's a terrific show.
You know, and why don't you start, GiGi? You start first.
Okay. Well, first of all, I got that call from Viva. And she said, GiGi, Sherri, guess what? And I'm going, what? Because I didn't really think I was going to make the show, you know. She says, you made the show? I said, what? And I started singing, you gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. I was so ecstatic. I was so happy. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how thrilling it was, but to get that call, it just made my year. I mean, you know, with the COVID-19 and everything going on, I tell you, this was like icing on the cake. I mean, all of my foodie experiences, this by far has been my absolute favorite. I mean, Peacock, NBC treated us like queens, didn't they, Norma?
Oh my God. I don't think Queen Elizabeth could be treated better than they treated us. I'm not kidding. It was amazing. It was amazing. But my experience was different. I mean, my experience was the same, but the funny thing is that it took me 36 years to get to NBC because I was a stand-up comedian back in the time I call it of my great craziness. And I was the stand-up for 14 years, and I would go to the clubs and I would see the other comics, and they would have the NBC people out from the Tonight Show and stuff work, you know, checking them out to be on the show. And I would always think, gosh, I would so love to be on Jay Leno. I would so love to be on Johnny Carson. And of course I wasn't. When this came along and I said, 36 years later, I'm on NBC. Here it is, me and the Peacock.
And
But
you have made it big, right? That's what you told us.
I mean, it's like
the jackpot.
This was, I mean, it was beyond my wildest dreams, actually. But I'll tell you, it was really a fluke that I was on the show. That's the funny part. They were picked. I auditioned. They were going with another woman Sylvia Weinstock, who's since passed away. You knew she passed away last week.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah. She's anyway. Yeah, she passed away, but she was the one they were going with. And then when they put her on with the other ladies to see how the chemistry was, they didn't get along with her at all. Not at all. I mean, she was
okay.
Okay, you did, but for Harriet didn't get along with her and Ann, and there was no chemistry there. You know what I mean? It wasn't meshing. They came back to me like 3 weeks before the show started. They had already written me a letter. I didn't get the show. I had an email that said I didn't get it. So I had written it off, In the meantime, they came back to me. They said, we want you to have a Zoom call this afternoon. I said, fine. And then they put me on with the girls. And of course, we started talking and never stopped. And they figured out, I think it's going to work. And that's how I got the show. So if people don't believe in fate, trust me, there is a destiny at work, because it was meant for me to be on that show. And honestly, it just shows you how things work out the way they're supposed to at the end of the day.
I'll tell you, and Harriet and Ann and Norma, I tell you what, we are a great bunch. I mean, we talked about any and everything you can imagine under the sun, and of course, baking and food and all that good stuff. But we really got to peek into each other's lives and everything, even though we hadn't known each other that well. But we really got to be really intimate in our friendship and our relationship and that bonding. It was good. We got there a few days before we actually started shooting. So that was real important, that bonding. I mean, even though I did some chemistry test Zoom meetings with Ann and Harriet, I hadn't with Norma, but it was just like she was already there anyway. But I tell you, it was real important for us to really get to know each other. So I don't know if that was set up by design, but I tell you what, it worked wonders. And I love these ladies.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I think the reason people, like, even if you read the reviews of the show, which I'm sure you probably have read some of them, they talk about the Grammys and how the Grannies got along. And like one article even called us the secret weapon, Yeah. And I think and I think the only reason that that's the case is because it was so authentic. We were so authentic, not just in the things we said, but our relationship with each other was so authentic that when we talked and we said things, people really believed it. They really understood that it was true and real. And I think people like to see that authenticity on TV. They don't like to see everything scripted. You know what I mean? So and we were not scripted at all. We just said whatever we wanted.
I know. I tell you what, because what you see is what you get with me. And some of the stuff I said didn't show up, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it was
me too.
It would be fine because it would have been me 100% right, Norma.
We love this person. We love her, and GiGi loves to talk, and because she has a lot to say, because she's smart. And she has a lot to say, so she talks, and we listen, and she talks, and we listen. And then every so often we'll interrupt. Just a minute, we raise our hand.
Norma is so funny because my family is the same way. So you should get around my siblings. You would never get a word in edgewise. I asked my husband, almost 40 years. I tell you what, it's the same. Oh my gosh, I do talk too much. See, here I am going. I'm gonna shut up right now.
Okay. No, we love what you say. I love what you say. Are you kidding? No, nobody wants you to shut up. We just want to get a word in every so often.
Well, let me interrupt and talk about the baking itself. What's the secret of eating all those baked goods? Do you ladies starve yourselves beforehand all day? I mean, it's a lot of food.
Well, we had a lot of food to eat. I mean, they were ordering us 3 meals a day, full meals. I never eat. No, I mean, 3 and snacks and whatever. We were like, and then our room, they had food. I mean, you would think they were making pate the way they were shoving food down our throat. I'm not kidding. I just can't eat like that. And I just can't. I'm 5 feet tall and I just can't. I don't have that room in me to eat all that food. So eventually I cut it down to 1 meal a day. Plus we were tasting food. But the food was amazing. And the baked goods, oh my God. I mean, you didn't eat the whole thing unless it was fabulous.
That's right. What you would do is like, during the bakes, it was like, if it was really good, you're going to have more than 1 or 2 bites. I mean, and all of the food was really good, but it was certain things that kind of hit that GG diggity, and you do yours, Norma. Your 2 snaps.
Okay, 2 snaps up and a clap for more.
That's right. That means it was good. And that got more than probably 2 or 3 bites because it was so much food. I had never ate so many sweets in my life. But it wasn't just sweets, it was awesome savory dishes. And I'm like team savory. And I know what you are, Norma. What are you?
Oh, honey, I'm team chocolate. I am
Yeah.
I am a chocoholic. My name is Norma Zager and I'm a chocoholic. I mean, the worst thing for me was one of the bakes, the winners, the girls who won, Stephanie and Jessica.
Yeah.
She's a chocolatier. Okay.
Yes.
And she made a nutcracker cake. And on that cake, there was a ganache that served as the hair. That was the last taste of the day. They were the last ones to bring the bake up. By then, I was already up to here with food.
Yes.
They put that chocolate in front of me. I have never eaten chocolate like that in my life. I wanted to eat the whole chunk of chocolate, and I couldn't get it down my throat. And I have been thinking about it ever since. I wrote Stephanie. I said, Stephanie, I need that chocolate. I'm not kidding. She says, she sent me the recipe. She sent me the recipe for the chocolate. I can't stop thinking about it. But everything was delicious. We ate, we tasted. Everything was wonderful. Those bakers were extraordinary. The things they created, some of those bakes were so beautiful and so creative. I mean, they were all great. They were all
and
great.
they were the best competitors. I mean, that was a true love and friendship and family you could see with them as well. But we had that with them also, because we hated when someone had to be eliminated, right? It was like, oh no, because they did their best, but sometimes, you can just have a bad day, you can have a bad bake. But it wasn't all about that winning. You could see the love, everybody telling their family traditions and stories. That was awesome and heartfelt.
And you know what? I think you could tell on the show that we really and truly felt bad when they went home. But we weren't faking it. Those were real tears because we just fell in love with all of them, and we hated to see them leave. And it left this little hole in the show every time somebody, and you know what else? They were so good to each other. You know how competition shows are usually so cutthroat. I'm going to win and blah, blah, blah. Well, I have to tell you that when they were stumped or they had a problem, they helped each other to figure out how to do things. They didn't have to do that. They were competing. And yet they did help each other to fix things that didn't work. And they loaned them things they ran out of. I mean, I was really impressed with that level of sharing and community that they created for themselves. It was amazing. I think that's why the show works so well too.
And you know what? They all still get together.
Yeah.
They met up in New York. They went to a baseball game. They had their watch party together. I mean, it's really amazing, the relationships. And I've been a competitive cook for 11 years now. So I know, Norma, what you're talking about as far as that competitive cutthroat. I've never been that type because I'm just having a good time, doing what I love, cooking and everything. But you do have that aspect in a lot of the competition shows. But this one was totally different. You didn't see that, looking and, and all of this and trying to, sabotage someone in a small way, because it really does happen on some competition. But this was unlike it. And so I think when you look at the show, you can see the wholesomeness. This is like the perfect holiday show. I mean, you're going to cry, right, Norma? We cried, laughed. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I still got a real good relationship with all the competitors too. I mean, we follow each other all on Instagram and, and there's, the family stories on Facebook and everything and Twitter. So it's really a big extended family right now. So I got a real big one right now.
No, I give the producers and the casting people the credit for that, because it's that was the goal of the show. I mean, I think when Amy had said that she wanted a show that was warm and family oriented and was, sort of a warm and fuzzy feeling for the holidays, not a cutthroat cooking competition. And I think that they chose those people, based on those qualities, that they were kind-hearted, that they were, they weren't cutthroat types of people. And I think it worked well. And I think that was the secret sauce, that they chose them and they chose they chose them wisely at the end.
And
You know what I
think,
mean?
you know what, Norma, and also think the diversity
Mhm.
throughout the show,
Mhm.
because now when America or the rest of the world looks at the show, they will see themselves truly, their
Mhm.
traditions, because everybody don't celebrate, you know, Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa or whatever, but you know what, it's traditions. But and I think that was important because of the diversity. Now I can look at it, Norma, your grandson, anybody can look at this show and say, you know what, I see me. And that is what brings us together, period, by far. You know, so
And
I think that was
it's-
real important.
I 100% agree, and I also think the show's very American. It
Yes.
really shows that diversity.
Yes.
It was very, to me, it was very American because it was everybody together, working together, embracing one another, having a sense of community. You know, it was like very, I grew up in the Midwest, and I have to tell you, it was very Midwestern feeling on the show. That sense of community and love for your neighbor and helping your neighbor and the diversity of people and embracing the diversity. I mean,
Yes.
I can't say enough about positive things about the show. I love the show. I think it turned out so great. And I hope that the people who are watching it love it as much as we did, not just doing it, but watching it as well.
Well,
Yeah, because I'm my worst critic. Gig, we'll let you get in.
Your turn, Gig.
I was gonna say I would love to talk to you two all day if I actually had the time, you know what I mean? But sadly, I am out of time. But I do want to sneak in one last question though. Is your personal saying such as GG diggity and 2 snaps? Did you just come up with that for the show, or that saying has been around with you two for like a long time?
For me, I just came up with it on the show. It just came to me because I always say bomb diggity, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm GG. So it just came up when I got that first bite, who got that first GG diggity, it just came to me just like that. So that hasn't been around ever until GG said, and all of it.
Well, I always did 2 snaps up when something was terrific because I stole that from Damon Wayans.
Oh,
In Living Color, when they used to do Men on Sports, and they used to go 2 snaps up, and I used to love that, you know. And then I added the clap for more because it just seemed appropriate to ask for more food if you were going to give it 2 snaps up. So that's how that came along. It was, you know, it was just one of those things, like Gigi said, just sort of fell into place, you know. It just happened. That's it. You know, it was natural.
Well, those are wonderful stories, ladies. Hey, congratulations once again for baking it, and it's lovely, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you for
and
having
happy
us.
holidays.
Thank you. Bye, Gigi. It was so good to see you.
I'll be talking to you later, I know.
Yeah,
Love
for
you.
sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.